Namaste and welcome to Tridev Chamunda Mandir in Denver, Colorado. I'm Yamajit and I'm so glad you could join me this evening. So being the first Friday of the month, this is our monthly Kriya Yoga and Devi Puja, Satsang. And for a change, I decided to do something a little bit different. The Kriya practice that I'm going to be sharing with you this evening is the beginner's practice that was taught by Paramahansa Yogananda, who you might know from Autobiography of a Yogi. So Yogananda was born in India in 1893. He died in 1952. His parents were devotees of Lahiri Mashaya, who with Mahavatar Babaji founded the Kriya Yoga movement beginning in the 1860s. Yogananda's guru was Sri Yukteswar, who was also a direct disciple of Lahiri as well. Paramahamsa is a title, means great swan, and Yogananda was the name he was given when he joined the renunciate Swami order, and it means joy of yoga. He came to the United States in 1920, where he founded the Self-Realization Fellowship, which still teaches Kriya Yoga to this day. It's based out of California. So again, namaste and welcome. I'd like to make a couple of announcements on upcoming events. So this coming Tuesday will be the 5th installment of our Yoga Upanishads series. So during this series, we discuss one of 10 rather short yogic scriptures, which discuss the philosophy and mechanics behind yoga. And then we do a corresponding meditation along with it. Tuesday's scripture will be the Tejas Bindu Upanishad, which was written somewhere between 300 BCE and the year 300 CE. And our accompanying meditation will be the Hamsa meditation, which is really a form of Kriya meditation, but also meditation which is very tantric in nature. It's really the culminating practice of 112 practices in the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. Next Friday will be the 14th installment of our Kali Nitya's Puja and Satsang series. Weather permitting, we'll be doing another outdoor fire puja, and we'll be honoring the goddess Mudra, the goddess Mudra, which means seal or divine gesture. And I'll say a little bit more about the meaning of that word next Friday. Following Friday will be our monthly Devi Puja and Yoga Nidra practice. And then the final Friday of the month will be the final installment of the Kali Nitya series, and that will be the goddess Mita, and Mita means measurer. And so that's what we have coming up. And let's see, we've got a couple of people viewing right now. Please feel free to say hello and using the chat function at the bottom right of your screen. And so the Yogananda Kriya does not have an opening puja like the method that I was taught, but I'd like to begin our satsang tonight by doing the Kriya Yoga puja for consistency's sake, and also so that we're practicing in sacred space. If you're somebody who's done Kriya with me and you happen to have your altar set up with you, you're welcome to join in that opening puja. So, and Bryce, namaste, welcome. Glad you could join us. Hope things are going well. Happy Labor Day weekend. So I invite you to find a comfortable seated position with your back straight. I invite you to close your eyes and to breathe deeply. Letting go of the cares of the day and the concerns of tomorrow. Relaxing and focusing upon the present moment. And focusing on your heart center and allowing yourself to silently connect with the divine in whichever form you're closest to. And I invite you to silently make an individual intention for tonight's practice. Just thinking of some small aspect of your life that is ready for growth, healing, and transformation. You can also dedicate tonight's practice to somebody close to you who is in need of healing as well. And I invite you to bring the palms of your hands together at your heart center. And we'll open our practice by chanting Om 3 times. Inhale. Om. 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 Inhale and exhale. And I invite you to join in the mantras of our opening puja. Om. 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 Cleansing with water. Om. Cleansing the altar. Om. Om. Lighting the flame and offering it. Om. Om. Lighting incense and offering it. Om. atmosphere. Offering fruit. Offering perfume. Offering flowers. Bowing. Jema. So before doing the actual Kriya practice, I'm going to talk you through some warm-up exercises, and these are some things you can incorporate into your own Kriya practice if you aren't using them already. So these are preparation exercises that were taught originally by Lahiri and also by Yogananda and other Kriya gurus as well. So the first one we're going to do is really how we began, and that was yogic breath. So I invite you to find a comfortable seated position. It can be on the floor like I am, or in a chair, just any position that is comfortable and your back can be straight. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. And in full yogic breath, it helps to imagine yourself as like a container of water, filling from the bottom to the top and emptying from the top to the bottom. So when you inhale, you're expanding the belly, then the chest, shoulders rise, and as you exhale, shoulders come down, chest comes in, belly toward the spine. So long, slow, deep, full breathing, really the basis of all yoga. Maybe a slight pause between the inhalations and exhalations. And then I invite you to take a deep and clearing breath. Bring your breath back to normal. Slowly open your eyes. And just feel the effects of that practice. So the next practice is called Kapalabhati, which means skull shining. This is going to be a rapid, energizing breath. Some precautions if you have uncontrolled high blood pressure, heart condition, stomach ulcer, panic disorder. This is one practice you might want to avoid. Rather instead, just continue with the long, deep yogic breathing. But Kapalabhati is also sometimes called bellows breath. You're exhaling by tensing the diaphragm and the abdominals. And then to inhale, you're just relaxing the diaphragm and abdominals and letting the air be drawn in naturally. So we're going to do 25 rounds of Kapalabhati, and I invite you to join along. And then just relax. Let the breath again return to normal. And again, just feel the effects of that practice. When warming up to do Kriya, doing between maybe 2.5 to 5 minutes of long, deep breathing, you can do up to 3 rounds of 20 of Kapalabhati. And then the next warm-up is a little more calming. This is Nadi Shodhana, or alternate nostril breathing. And the way I like to teach it is using the two fingers, forefinger and middle finger of the right hand. Place those on the third eye, and I would recommend focusing on the third eye during this practice. Closing, using the thumb to close off the left nostril in a nice deep inhale. Then closing off the left side with your ring finger, and then exhale and inhale through the right. Close the right and exhale and inhale through the left. And alternate back and forth. One more exhalation, inhalation on the right. And then a final exhalation on the left. Let your right hand rest on your knee. And again, breathe normally. And just feel the effects of the practice. Kind of an amusing little story. One of my teachers, when I was in graduate school, was telling us of this occasion when she was at a conference at the University of Colorado campus. And one of the meetings was kind of stressful, so she went out to her car and started doing alternate nostril breathing to get relaxed. This is a very relaxing practice. And she's doing this for a while, and suddenly the student comes up and taps on her window and asks, "Whatever you're doing, that looks really good. Can I have some of that?" And yeah, pretty good stuff. So the next thing that I'm going to show you is sometimes added to as a Kriya warm-up. Sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't. And that is Ujjayi Pranayama, sometimes called Darth Vader breath. This is breathing in and out through the nose with the glottis, the muscles of the just above the windpipe, just slightly contracted. So there's a little more effort to both the inhalation and the exhalation. We're going to do 20 rounds of Ujjayi. So again, find that comfortable position. Close your eyes. Take a couple just warm-up breaths. And then slightly tighten the throat. So there's a sound as you inhale and exhale. And again, just relax. Let the breath return to normal, and again, just feeling the effects and slowly opening your eyes. And so the final warm-up, actually, in a typical Kriya routine of this lineage, is not typically done at this point, but I want to dress rehearse it. We're going to do 14 rounds of Yogananda style Kriya, inhalations and exhalations. And we're going to conclude with this exercise. And this exercise really is designed to really raise that Kundalini energy and really vibrate that third eye. It's called Jyoti Mudra, or Mudra of Light. And it's called that because one of the effects is in the third eye area, you should be able to visualize some kind of light. So your eyes are going to be closed. Your gaze is going to be turned up slightly towards your third eye, and you'll already see some kind of a light effect from that. You're going to use the thumbs of both hands to just gently close the openings to the ears by just bringing down the little flap called the pinna. Index finger goes over the eye, both eyes, with slight pressure that'll enhance the light effect. And then resting the other fingers across the face. We're going to inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to do bumblebee breath. We're going to hum Om. We're going to do 3 of these. Inhale. Relax the hands on the knees. Feel the third eye. Observe any visual effects. And when we do our Kriya practice, we'll do the rounds of Kriya. We'll do 3 rounds of Jyoti Mudra, and then we're going to do meditation for the next, just a silent meditation for the next few minutes. And you may have noticed, even just doing Jyoti Mudra, you find yourself really starting to get into that meditative state. There is actually one more thing I want to show you, and this is to help foster awareness of Sushumna Nadi, that is the central channel running up and down the spinal cord from the base of the spine and the perineum to the crown of the head. And this is called Maha Mudra, or Great Seal. Some of you might know it as the Yoga Asana, Janu Shirsasana, or head to knee pose. So I'm going to do this sideways so you can observe a little bit better. But I invite you to straighten your right leg, placing your left foot against your right thigh. There's a variation of this if you're flexible enough in the knees and don't have knee problems like I do. You can actually sit, you can actually have your left leg curved under you, so you're sitting on it, and the heel is pressing the perineum. That's can be very powerful, not absolutely necessary. But sitting up straight, taking some breaths, focusing on the spine and envisioning a silvery white tube running from the base to the crown of the head. And then inhale, raising both arms overhead. Exhale, hinging at the hips, letting the hands drop to grab a toe. You can also grab a shin or a heel, depending on your level of flexibility. Keeping the back relatively straight. Still visualizing that silvery tube and just holding for 6 breaths. And then inhale, coming back up to center. Taking a couple of breaths, relaxing. And then switching sides. So sitting up straight again, envisioning that silvery white tube, Sushumna Nadi. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, hinge at the hips, let the hands drop. Again, grab a toe, ankle, shin, keeping the back relatively straight. Breathing. 6 breaths. And inhale, coming up. Should have been feeling a real nice stretch on the backs of both legs. If you're prone to sciatica, this is a wonderful both exercise for preventing it and also for aiding in reducing the effects of it if you have it. So the final exercise, sitting forward fold. So sitting up straight, your legs extended, toes pointing up toward the ceiling. Again, focusing on that center of the spine and that silvery tube. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, hinging at the hip, grabbing toes, ankles or shins. Holding for 6 breaths, focusing on the spine. And inhale, coming up to center. Take a couple of breaths, just feeling the effects. And now we'll begin the actual Kriya. So finding that comfortable seated position that you're going to be able to stay in for the next several minutes. First, I invite you to bring the left hand to the base of the spine and the right hand to the area of the medulla, right where the spine meets the skull. Take some deep breaths and feel Sushumna Nadi, that silvery tube between your hands. And now bring your right hand to your third eye and envision that tube bending forward So it's touching the third eye. And you can relax your hands. So this form of Kriya is going to be a little bit different. When we inhale is when we're going to be raising the energy from the root to the third eye. And when we inhale, when we inhale, that's when we're raising the energy. So we inhale, energy goes from the root to the third eye. And then when we exhale, we're bringing the energy down from the third eye back to the root. So again, inhalation, we're raising the energy. Exhalation, we're bringing it down. The energy is moving between the base of the spine and the third eye. Rather than chanting Om, we're going to be breathing through an open mouth. And we're going to use two sounds. With the inhalation, it's going to be the sound Ah. And with the exhalation, it's going to be the sound E. And the sound is going to come from an open, relaxed throat. So I'm going to demonstrate that. So we inhale, bringing the energy up from the root to the third eye. We're going to hold for 5 seconds. And then exhale, bringing the energy down from the third eye to the root. No pause at this point. We just go right into the next inhalation. Hold 5 seconds. So I invite you to have your hands comfortably on your knees. If there's a mudra like Gayam mudra you want to assume, you're welcome to do that. Your eyes are closed. Your gaze is turned slightly upwards to your third eye. Your spine is straight, and you're prepared to feel the movement of the energy up with the inhale, Ah, down with the exhale, E. We'll do 14 rounds and then 3 more rounds of Jyoti Mudra. Bringing your arms up, closing the ears, forefingers across the eyes, slight pressure, remaining fingers across the face. Inhale. 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 Keeping your eyes closed. Deep breathing. Resting your hands on your knees, relaxing. And just allowing yourself to rest in a place of silence and stillness. invite you now to take a deep and clearing breath, letting go of the meditation and beginning to bring your awareness back to your surroundings. The sound of my voice, any other sounds surrounding you in your particular space. Maybe crickets chirping outside, maybe a clock. Become aware of the sensation of your body, seated where it is. Feel the temperature of the air on your skin. Begin to slowly move your fingers and toes, arms and legs, head and neck, still keeping your eyes closed. And then bringing the palms of your hands together at your heart center. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thanking the divine in whatever form you're closest to. Acknowledging its presence both within and without, and knowing you can draw from that divine presence always. Giving gratitude to yourself for taking part in this practice tonight. Slowly opening your eyes. And namaste. Blessings always. Jai Mata Di. So I invite you to try this process, maybe compare it to other meditational practices that you might be doing at this time. There are also aspects of it that you can incorporate into your personal practice. So to do this practice, begin with some long, deep breathing, yogic breath. 20 rounds of Kapalabhati. You can maybe do 3 sets of 20 if you feel that feels right for you to do. Nadi Shodhana, 10 rounds. 20 Ujjayi Pranayam. Mahamudra, right, left, and center. And you can repeat that 2 more times if you feel inclined. Doing, to start with, 14 rounds of the Kriya. As you become more advanced with it, you can increase that to 28 rounds. And if you have the time and are able to, ideally, you do this practice morning and evening. Feel free to email me at my channel if you have any questions, comments, feedback. And if you haven't already before, please hit those like buttons and those subscribe buttons. Wishing you a wonderful Labor Day weekend ahead. Looking forward to you joining me on Tuesday for our Satsang. Have a wonderful night. Thank you so very much. Namaste. Jai Mata Di. And good night.